there is exposure in mainly our food.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some things you can do to kind of decrease your exposure in your
Mm-hmm.
food, but that is the number one way that we are exposed to this chemical.
Mm-hmm.
And they are working on decreasing that exposure to everybody.
Hello, welcome back to The Wellbeing. My name is Madison,
My name is Rachel.
and today we are talking about toilet paper and tampons. Things that go down there. Can I say vagina on this podcast? I guess.
I'm sure you can. Yes. These are very delicate parts, so
Uh-huh.
it's important to treat them well.
That is important.
Yeah,
And you know what? The research set has mixed reviews on whether or not we should be worried about these things. So,
definitely. And I think it's not really something that you put a lot of time and effort in. And I don't feel like I have put a lot of time and effort into
mm-hmm.
thinking about products in that area because you learn it when you're
Mm-hmm.
very young and going through puberty, and then you never really change it.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I will say I switched from a tampon to a cup
Okay.
per the recommendation of Jenna.
That was in like years ago now, right?
Well, she did it years ago. It took me a while to
Okay. To make the
agree.
switch.
Yeah.
And what's your review of that?
I like it. I feel as though like sometimes it's annoying. I might switch to a disc. There's one called like a flex disc, which
Okay.
apparently this is so much information, you guys, but the ad for it says that it empties itself when you pee.
Wow. I'm
That's what
like
I said.
trying to,
I don't know how,
okay.
but it
Yeah,
also makes me worried that like does it empty itself when you sit down?
yeah. Like, can
That's a
it
lot of
spill?
question.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't want to just spill.
We should have asked Marissa this on the Public Floor podcast.
That's such a good point. We should have her
Yeah.
back.
She's coming to my house this week and I'll ask her
Okay.
and provide an update.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
please provide an update.
Yes.
I would like to provide an update for my friend whose life I disrupted by telling her this information. One of my very best friends, who is one of my favorite people on this planet, I was like, yo, you got to get rid of at least the Febreze in your house, and here's why.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I don't have Febreze in my house. I'm like, girl, I have stayed in your house and seen it.
Hmm.
So wrong. But okay, if it's not in there, that's great. If you've thrown it away, perfect. Then I was like, okay, but you also have to get rid of your Tide, probably what you wash your hair with, probably what you clean your body with in the shower, probably your deodorant, any perfume. She's like, I don't wear perfume, but my partner wears cologne. And I was like, he's got to get rid of that. Anyway, full why did you do this to me situation.
Hmm.
And but also then she texted me and was like, "Oh my God, I took a shower this morning and because I was like, just like change your cleaning supplies and then go
Yeah.
from there." But then she's
Yeah.
like, I was taking a shower this morning and I was like, "Oh my God, everything I'm bathing myself in is toxic. I have to get rid of it all." So then she went to work, and her boss is highly aware that I am mildly like out there with these things. And I don't think I'm out there. I just think that like I do a lot of research into these things, therefore I have a
Hmm.
lot of heavy, strong opinions.
Yeah.
And she's already told her doctor about the blood work that I asked my friend to get. Um, and she had told her boss this, and then she told her boss like about what I'm telling her now about
Hmm.
fragrances and
Yeah.
chemicals and whatever. And she goes, "Is it the same girl?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, it is." But she's like, "I came into work and I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed to come into work this time. Like we had 2 hours in the morning. We weren't supposed to come until 11 instead of 9." Um, and so she was like, "Yeah, I had 2 hours on my hands." And so she called me and she's like, "I don't understand how branch basics work." So we like went through how
Hmm.
it works.
Hmm.
And then she was like, "Okay, what are the other things I need to get?" And so she was like, I went on the EWG, but I
Mhm.
want to know like how much all these things cost. Like she's like
Yeah.
the EWG needs to have a filter by price
Yeah.
and also best to worst at the same time. I was like, that's genius. We should send them an email. But in that 2 hours, she got all new. I also sent her a gift card for Branch Basics because like, I'm sorry I ruined your life. Here's $100. But
I hope you
it's
feel better.
also her belated birthday present.
Perfect.
I'm not sure how much of a birthday present that is, but here we are.
I think that's a great gift,
I
personally,
think so
but
too,
yeah.
personally.
Hmm.
So yeah, I feel like, but for the average person, it makes me realize like how frustrating and overwhelming this could be because
Hmm.
she's like, okay, my whole house is only tied. And I was like,
Yeah.
No, that is we can't be using that. No,
Yeah.
we got to switch it. So we switched to Branch Basics, all the things, and then she chose her own. I mean, we have very different hair. Hers is like brown and
Hmm.
curly, and clearly
Okay.
mine is not. And so I was like, you probably should use the same shampoo as me. So she found that she liked, and I think she decided on a bunch of stuff from like Aspen Clean and
Okay.
Attitude, and
Okay.
then Branch Basics. Like between those, she like
Hmm.
finagled it to replace everything in the shower, everything in her bathroom, everything in her kitchen, all her cleaning supplies, which is a amazing start. And her boss did the exact same thing with her extra morning 2 hours, but she started with all the things for her 4-year-old daughter.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, I am obsessed with this. And also, we need to put hyperlinks on our new spreadsheet.
Okay, so case study of two, you guys. It only takes 2 hours to switch out everything in your entire house. That
Two
is
hours
so
and
cool.
a couple $100.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, let's add prices to the spreadsheet.
Yes, I agree.
Also, can we just talk about the cycle of learning about toxicity? Like, what is
Woof.
stage one? Stage one, I think, is stop listening and shut down and be like, I'm not doing any of that. That's
That's
complete
exactly what
overwhelmed.
happened.
Stage one
Yep.
is overwhelmed. Stage one is I hate you. I hate the world. Please don't tell me this information.
Truly.
Come here. Excuse my dogs that are just choosing right now to play. Stage two is okay, I'm ready to listen again. What small changes can I make?
Yes, I agree.
And then stage three might be
Go
you
back and
take,
realize half the stuff you bought is still toxic.
oh yeah, that's true.
Unless
Yeah.
you use our spreadsheet, which we are going to come out with.
Yes, it's gonna be so good
I'm so
and
excited.
organized and beautiful. Yeah.
And I
But
also think we should put a list of chemicals that you can look for in other stuff that are bad.
yeah.
Because I think that's something I really struggle with, at least, is knowing what's good and knowing what's bad. Because they're like, don't eat anything you can't pronounce. But then, like, the dietitians
Hmm.
always post, like, okay, well, like, a carrot is made out of whatever
Hmm.
chemicals that you cannot
Yeah.
pronounce.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, that's really not fair.
Yeah. That's not an all-inclusive rule for sure. Yeah, I like that.
Mhm. So yeah, we should make a list of chemicals to look out for, like the
Okay.
PEGs and the
Hmm.
PFAS and the
Phthalate free, all of
yeah,
those things. Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. The Prop
Cool.
65 chemicals, all of
Uh-huh.
them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Okay. I'll write this all down like we talked about.
You're amazing.
We
Okay.
got it. Also, just a side
Yes.
note, are you a sticky note person or is it just me?
You should see my desk. It's like just only sticky notes, like
Okay.
things I need to do with patients. Like,
Yeah, same,
yeah,
same.
yeah.
They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I'm not alone.
No, you're definitely not alone. Definitely not.
Okay, amazing.
Uh-huh. It's definitely a thing. So,
Okay, let's talk about toilet paper first, if you're
let's do
okay with
it.
that. Okay,
Yes, let's do it.
so get ready for me to pronounce this word.
Mm-hmm.
The acronym is TCDD.
Mm-hmm.
The actual word is tetrachlorodibenzo P dioxin.
Feel like I'm in biochem. Okay, keep going.
I think I feel pretty good about that.
I think that's
Crushed
pretty
it.
good too.
uh, from here on out, I'm just gonna call it dioxin as a short term.
Okay.
So this is a chemical that we have found in things like bleached toilet paper and bleached tampons. And this is why we care. It is an environmental pollutant and it has health effects on your body that can be both acute and it can be chronic, so build up
Mm-hmm.
over time. Uh, Things, if you're exposed to this, can cause like skin conditions, GI symptoms, temporary liver damage. And again, this depends on how much you're being exposed to and for how long. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying if you wipe with one piece of toilet paper that you're going to have liver damage. Not saying that, just saying that this chemical is linked to these results. Chronic health effects can have reproductive health effects, leading to infertility for both males and females, and decreased sperm count and testosterone levels. And then we talked about liver damage, cardiovascular diseases, and endocrine disruption, which I feel like Maddie is the pro at, and even neurotoxicity. So different things like that. And then yeah, so basically it has a lot of different effects, long-term effects
Mm-hmm.
on your health with different levels of exposure.
Okay. And do they think we're largely exposed or not largely exposed
So as a
from
human
that?
population, there is
Mm-hmm.
significant, there is exposure in mainly our food.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some things you can do to kind of decrease your exposure in your
Mm-hmm.
food, but that is the number one way that we are exposed to this chemical.
Mm-hmm.
And they are working on decreasing that exposure to everybody.
Okay. Got it, I
Yes,
think.
it's confusing.
It really is confusing. So, like, these things could have, I think that's the heavy metal, right?
Hmm.
The dioxane. And so that's
Hmm.
why everyone the other day was like, not the other day, a couple weeks ago, like freaked out that all tampons have heavy metals and we need to be more careful and whatever, whatever. But the
Yeah.
amount that's in there is not very large, and therefore people don't have to be as concerned, is what the research says.
Yes. So research says exactly what you just said. Basically, there are there is dioxin in bleached toilet paper and in bleached tampons, but from all of the research, the conclusion states, I'm going to read it because I don't want to mess up exactly how it says, but it also helps me form my opinion on how I want to take that information. So the research states that dioxin levels in bleached tampons and bleached toilet paper are extremely low, comparable to those in unbleached products. And the exposure from tampons and toilet paper is minimal compared to daily food exposure. And there is no consistent evidence to suggest a significant risk of using these products. At the same time, where did I send that? I sent that to you, Maddie.
You texted it to me, yeah.
Okay. They say that there's an extremely low risk of developing cancer from using these products, but they don't say there's no risk.
Okay.
So, does
Okay.
that make
So
sense?
it does make sense. And I remember when I was reading it from you, it said something about oxidative stress, correct?
Correct.
So oxidative stress is something that I think a lot about in my regular job, strangely enough, because oxidative stress is responsible for a lot of like inflammatory issues in our body. Um, And it's basically a condition that occurs when there's an imbalance of free radicals and antioxidants. So antioxidants are things that we hear about like in berries or whatever, right? Molecules that fight against free radicals. And then free radicals are unstable molecules that are produced by byproducts of the cellular metabolic process. So even exercise increases free radicals. Dioxanes, it seems like, can increase free radicals, right? And if you're having an imbalance of these things already, then lowering other things that can continue to increase oxidative stress in your body by increasing the number of free radicals would be a positive thing if you could reduce those, right?
Right. I might need you to say that again.
Okay.
Just,
So you
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
So oxidative stress is basically a ratio. It's a ratio of free radicals to antioxidants in any person's body. Free radicals are unstable molecules produced as byproducts of cellular metabolic processes. So let's say you're exercising and you're building muscle, that actually will create free radicals, like when your muscle breaks down and rebuilds. That's actually a good kind of free radical because ultimately the result is positive. And no one on this planet is intended to have zero free radicals. That's not how this is supposed to be. But we do need to keep up our antioxidants. So antioxidants you can find in berries. I believe creatine is an antioxidant.
Hmm.
There are a lot of antioxidants that you can find. A lot of them are in food products. And then like sleeping will help all of these things, some dietary supplements. So basically, it's a substance that protects your cells from damage caused by free radicals.
Free radicals are a normal release in your body. That is normal. The issue is when there's an imbalance between too many free radicals, like basically from what you create in your body, and then maybe exposure to some of these other things going on that are at a higher level. The imbalance between that and then the antioxidants, like maybe we're not getting enough of that to offset. So
Yep.
we're out of homeostasis.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And factors that lead to more oxidative stress are going to be certain meds, alcohol, smoking, poor diet, obesity, radiation, toxins, air pollution, pesticides, even sunlight. But sunlight, right? This is one of those things that we are required to get. But it can also cause more free radicals on your skin, which we know can cause cancer and other issues, right? Which is why we wear sunscreen that doesn't contain toxins like oxybenzone and avobenzene. That's why we do like zinc and titanium dioxide. But like titanium dioxide can't go through your skin, but you shouldn't use titanium dioxide in lipstick or other things that could go in your body, because if it's in your body, then it can be a problem. So there's this balance. Stress also increases oxidative stress. So all these things. Antioxidants, on the other hand, are things that help us to reduce the amount of free radicals and protect our cells from degradation, basically. It protects us from cancer. It protects us from aging, heart disease, stroke, other diseases, things like that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when it comes to this dioxane chemical or any other chemical, bleach, whatever, that we could find in toilet paper, in tampons, in our air, just generally, if you have the option to reduce these things from our body, even if it's like using tampons with that are have bleached whatever, because I found out when you break down, uh, let's say, wood to go in toilet paper, when you are using these chemicals to break them down, fluoride, bleach, or fluorine, formaldehyde, bleach, whatever. Okay. When we're breaking that down, that creates basically like a puffier, softer substance. So the softer
Mm-hmm.
and puffier the toilet paper, so think Charmin, right?
Mm-hmm. Extra
That
plush or whatever.
has exactly has more chemicals likely than like a thinner toilet paper that doesn't seem as like plush or fancy.
Okay. That makes a lot
So
of
they
sense.
use those in order to do that. And yes, there's a small amount in there. There also might be a small amount in your air quality, or a small amount here, a small amount there. But what we know about small amounts of things is that
Mm-hmm.
they end up building up. So I think
Mm-hmm.
kind of goes back to our original premise, if you listen to the first episode of this ever, of like, if you can avoid it, then avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you get to choose what goes in your body,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
the exfoliator I use for my face, I'm not getting rid of anytime soon. I'm
Yeah.
literally obsessed with it. It works so well. And I haven't found anything that I like better. And it's rated as a 5 on the EWG, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not great, not the worst thing ever, but definitely not great.
Mm-hmm.
And but I get to choose. what I fill my bucket up with. I
Right.
have a really excellent air purifier. My house doesn't have mold. Uh, I make sure that I clean really often. I eat organic. Like you get
Hmm.
to choose what you fill your
Right.
toxin bucket with. And if
Hmm.
you are like, okay, I'm going to change my cleaning supplies, but I'm not going to change my toilet paper, then fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that to your point, the whole reason we did start this podcast is not for all of you to listen to each episode and change literally everything in your life because that is overwhelming. And bringing it back to the stages of detoxifying your house, like it is really overwhelming and you do get to choose. And I think that part of the issue, obviously, part of the issue is that there's so many products that we have that add, like Maddie said, like drop by drop by drop by drop into that bucket. And yeah, there's a lot of tiny drops, but they fill it up if you're not conscious, I guess, of what you're using. So the point of this podcast is just to learn about potential drops that could be adding to your bucket. And then you decide what's important to you. You decide what you want to maybe spend your money on or spend your time on doing, but you don't have to necessarily cut everything out.
I agree. I agree. And that would be like that's too aggressive,
Yeah.
I think. Like
Oh, yeah.
I I'm not gonna get rid of my TV because it has Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And some people would. But
Yeah.
like that's not me. I
Right.
want my TV to have Google TV
Yeah.
or Roku or whatever the heck it's called
Hmm.
these days. I don't
Hmm.
know. Smart
I
TV.
don't ask me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smart TV. It has all the apps on it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to use. But I'm
Hmm.
going to make other choices. And someone else might say, okay, that's not the choice for me, but whatever. Like I know someone who just bought a car and she intentionally bought one that like you can turn the Bluetooth off because the
Hmm.
EMFs freak her out.
Hmm.
And like that's great, but that's
Yeah.
not a decision that I probably would make a car buying purchase off of.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Um, so yeah. The other thing about toilet paper that I wanted to uh mention was this per and polyfluoro polyfluoroalkyl polyfluoroalkyl. Wow. Substances. They should make these things people can pronounce in toilet paper and the impact on wastewater systems. I found this study by ACS, it's on ACS Publications by Thompson et al., March 1st, 2023. And it's contaminants in aquatic and terrestrial environments. And basically, they evaluated the unexpected contributor of per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, which is PFAS, in our wastewater and an input and anticipated in every wastewater treatment facility toilet paper. In this study, both toilet paper and wastewater sludge were characterized to explore the magnitude of the potential PFAS loading into wastewater systems from toilet paper. In both toilet paper and wastewater sludge, there was a 6-to-2 uh, fluorotelomere phosphate diester was the most prevalent PFAS detected, and toilet paper usage was estimated to contribute from 6.4 to 80 units per person year of DIPAP to wastewater systems. That makes sense. So basically,
Yeah.
the results, let's go with the too long, didn't read. The results suggest that toilet paper should be considered as a potentially major source of PFAS entering the wastewater treatment systems.
Okay.
PFAS is really hard to filter out.
Hmm.
So my personal water filter that I use, I have zero relationship with them other than the fact that I like them, is called Hydroviv, Hydroviv. And I just order online. It's custom to my personal water zip code, which is cool. Um, and I know that it works because me and my sister have one. Hers, I think I've told the story before. Hers is in Washington, D.C. Mine is here in Jackson Hole, and our water tastes the same. Like when you go to a new place, like the water tastes different.
Hmm.
Mm-mm, did not taste different. Hers tastes the
Hmm.
same as mine, which is crazy.
That is
Um,
crazy.
and it does process out PFAS. But we also, speaking of water, got a thing in the mail this week in Jackson that said, like, it is likely that your water has lead in it. I was like, okay, this is fun.
I mean, it
But
should filter
my
out for that too, right?
it filters for that, yes.
Okay.
And I also have like a shower head one. So all
Hmm.
but one faucet in my house has it. But that's
Okay.
so crazy that they're
Hmm.
like, I mean, it's nice that they're telling the people, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
it is nice, but
mhm,
it's also it's insane to me. I feel like I say this every episode, but it's insane to me that we live in a world where you get a letter in the mail saying that there's lead in your water
mhm. Yep.
and that you've been, if you're not filtering and if you're
Mhm.
not advocating for yourself, that you have been putting that into your
Yeah.
body.
And it said like you can get your pipes tested. This is how to do it, whatever, whatever. But my house was built in the 60s. Like it for sure has its own set of issues. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna I'm just gonna filter my water
Hmm.
preemptively rather than
Hmm.
being like I'm gonna go like you could test it and see because it didn't say everyone's definitely does, but it said like
Hmm.
it could be possible that.
Okay.
And my mom told me, my mom, if you guys don't know, my mom's an architect. She used to frame houses in her 20s. Like she is an amazing human being, especially when it comes to all things housing. And she basically said, like, if you run the water hot in almost any house in America, you're gonna be getting lead in the water because it leaches into hot water when it gets warm.
Mm.
And so if you're my water filter is only hooked up to the cold water.
Okay.
So when I'm using it to like boil pasta or put it in the coffee pot or drink it, like I always run it cold,
Hmm.
even if I'm gonna heat it up.
Gotcha. What about dishes?
Dishes, I feel like it washes off.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
So
But
I don't know,
again,
guys.
the
There's stuff in your
bucket.
water, filter it. The bucket,
We
exactly.
the bucket. Okay, I think I've told you this, but we have, or I got a shower head filter.
Yes.
Like that was maybe my first thing that I did. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was I lost
It's for your
my
hair.
toxicity virginity to my shower head filter for my hair because we live in or I live in Colorado. Maddie lives in Wyoming. It's similar climates. It's very dry. And I was just having like the driest hair ever. And I can't even be blonde anymore, but it's fine. We're not talking about that today. So I bought this shower head filter and it has really improved the health of my hair. Um, and I love it. And so I bought another one for our other bathroom where our guests use, and then Joe uses that bathroom too. I was like, well, if I'm buying a shower filter, I might as well buy a new shower head. Our house is also from the 70s, and so a lot of things are original, and we're slowly updating one thing at a time. So I don't think I've told you this, but I bought a new shower head, like a rainfall one, and then it has the extra attachment on the side that you can wash your dogs with for bath time. Yeah, I
I need
finally did
that.
that. You do. So we were going to put it in, and how do I describe this? The amount of like hardware that is in that shower, next time you're here, you're gonna laugh because it looks insane. Like there's just like this shower filter, and then like this arm, and then another arm, and then this huge shower head, and then like this other shower head over here. Like it looks ridiculous in our shower, but it's really nice. So I will say the shower filter head is.
That is hysterical. I, in order to improve my skin and hair health when we moved into this
Mhm.
house, bought a Jolie or Jolly water filter,
Mhm.
which I'm not sure is any better or worse than any other one, but it just,
Mhm.
if I'm gonna get like, it needs to get replaced every three
Yeah.
months, like the filter
Hmm.
inside does.
Yep.
And so I need it to auto ship to me. So
Yeah.
they do that. Um,
That's nice.
which is great. But I'm trying to find the picture of when we bought this house. I think people maybe in the 60s were literally just shorter than us now. Like, I don't know. Are we growing as a community? Who's to say? Um, but I'm trying to find this picture because I sent it to my mom, I remember, because I was like, this cannot be real. I just keep finding tiny pictures of tugboat. And it has to be in like May or June or something. Uh, I'm trying to figure out before they sold it to us. I'm like going on a tangent here. This is not helpful. They obviously had their own water filter in the house, which is great. Oh, here it is. Okay. So they had the piece that comes from the wall, a right angle, I'll show you a picture. Right
This
angle
is in your
PVC.
shower.
This is in the shower. This is
Okay.
not, and they all have a cure, which is all Whole Foods, not Whole Foods brand, but you can buy it at Whole Foods.
Okay.
Um, non-toxic. So they are on this train for sure. Then there's a piece of PVC attaching to another piece of PVC, which attaches to another right angle PVC to go back down, which attaches then to a giant water filter, which attaches then to a double head. One you can wash your dog with, the other actual regular shower head. It looked like this. I'm like, you guys, there's a better way to do this.
What
So
is happening?
I
That
know.
is how our shower kind of looks, though. I'm not
No.
gonna lie. Not like quite. Not PVC pipe.
Rachel, like, look at this piece of PVC.
Yeah, it doesn't look. Oh, I didn't see that part. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, that's way
So,
worse.
like, this is like, this also wasn't attached. This piece attached to the wall wasn't attached to the wall. I had to caulk it on there. And
Okay.
then down here, and then it goes right angle, two, three, four. There's one, two, three, four pieces to get to the shower filter.
That is a massive filter.
I mean, I met the guy. He's probably 6 feet tall. He's not any taller than D. Um, but yeah, it's very funny.
That looks like
But they got rid of it before.
you watch New Girl, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That looks like when Nick is trying to install that rain shower. Like that is what if any of you watch New Girl and you've seen that episode, that is the picture that Maddie just showed me.
100%.
Yeah, that is so great. That is so
Anyways,
great.
I think the point
Anyways,
is like this stuff is adding to your bucket, whether it's tampons or toilet paper or whatever else. And I think that this is another way you can reduce the stuff from your bucket.
yes, definitely. And
Yeah.
taking one step at a time and remembering
Hmm.
that it's the add up of all of these things
Yeah.
over a long period of time that causes effects. So even
Hmm.
if you're however old you are,
Hmm.
if you're starting now, you're making a positive difference to your life.
Hmm.
And also, if you're choosing things that you identify with and that you feel best about, then that is the way to go. There's no pressure to completely uproot your entire life.
Correct.
Uproot?
Uproot. It's root, Rachel. There's two O's that makes an ooh sound.
Ooh.
Did they teach you in Wisconsin? Like two O's
Uh,
make a
uh,
sound.
I'm trying to think. You're
It
gonna
makes
have
an ooh
to,
sound.
you're going to Wisconsin this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
You need to
Tomorrow.
ask everybody to say that word and report back to me how they say it.
I will, but I am 95% sure everyone but Mackenzie, who I'm not seeing this weekend, says root.
Jenna,
She says bag instead of bag.
big.
Bag, but I'm not sure she says roof instead of roof.
Well, all of those people I feel like are from southern Wisconsin, and
Hmm.
I'm from the north.
Is Appleton southern Wisconsin?
Um,
And Hortonville? Just outing everyone right now.
I don't know. Let me look.
You're from like
I feel
way
like
up north there.
so, yeah. So, in my opinion, Appleton might be like midway.
Okay.
It's still south
South of
from
you.
me.
And
Yeah.
Mackenzie is north of you.
Where is she from?
Uh,
Is she from like a tiny town, like
tiny,
Ladysmith or
tiny, tiny
something?
dairy town.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
irrelevant. Yeah, we could talk
It
about
does
this
not matter.
after.
Yeah, whatever.
Um,
Yeah.
so yes, I think that, I mean, I know that there's a lot to consider with
Hmm.
this, but let's
Hmm.
talk about things you can easily replace with,
Hmm.
that can be better options. And let's do toilet paper first.
Okay. Yeah, let's go for it.
Um, which one are you using again? And you got it on Amazon, I remember.
I did. So here's my thing though, you guys, like talking
Mm-hmm.
about being a normal human being. I wanted to order this as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to put hours and hours of research into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ordered a bamboo one off of
Mm-hmm.
Amazon and I simply read the description of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it said 100% bamboo, and then it said PFA free, organic, FSC certified. septic
Mm-hmm.
safe, eco-friendly,
Mm-hmm.
unbleached.
Okay.
So those are the things that I looked for, and I didn't do like hard research on it to make sure, but unbleached, organic, free of PFAs, those are like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like to your point of the words that we were looking that kind of put that trigger in our head of like, okay, that is something using my critical thinking cap, like that
Mm-hmm.
has those three words. So I'm like, okay, that is what I'm gonna buy. And it's
Okay,
called
great.
Better Way.
Better Way. You got it on Amazon.
I did. Yep. And it was
Okay.
delivered in like hours.
Well, that's because you live in like a normal place. It will take me 7 to 10 days, but can't relate. If you live anywhere but Jackson, Wyoming, it will probably be there within the hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fine. So there's two ways to not use bleach to bleach stuff, or not use chlorine to bleach stuff, which is very confusing to me. This is one more thing I wanted to say about toilet paper. So I
Yeah.
found a long article on the NRDC, and I am curious because they graded toilet paper on a lot of different scales of how they bleached it, if they had forest or non-deforestation issues, total recycled content, post-consumer content, forest or bamboo fiber, FSC certification of bamboo. There's a lot of things here. Um, and FSC is the Forest Stewardship Council. So there's a lot of
Okay, so that's what it said in the toilet paper that I bought.
the FSC.
FSC
Nice.
certified. Yes.
Nice. And NRDC is Natural Resources Defense Council. So there's a lot of
Okay.
things going on here. Um, anyways, so you could filter it by grade and score out of 600. It's all very confusing. But at the very right side of this, that you can find how it's bleached, and you have either PCF or ECF or none. Okay.
Okay.
So PCF is processed chlorine free, which means the recycled paper fibers not were not rebleached with any chlorine compounds, even though may have originally been bleached with chlorine during their initial processing. So that's PFC.
Okay.
And EFC is elemental chlorine free, which refers to a paper bleaching process that does not use elemental chlorine gas. I don't know what they do use though
Hmm.
to do EFC. I will find out though.
Okay.
EFC is a technique that uses chlorine dioxide for bleaching wood pulp. It does not use elemental chlorine gas during the bleaching process and prevents the formation of dioxins and dioxin-like
Okay.
compounds.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's good, it seems like. But I also don't know if chlorine dioxide is any better, you know?
Right. So is it just better to do like an unbleached option?
I think unbleached completely is probably best if it's like a
Yeah,
brown color.
right.
Um,
Because a lot of the toilet papers on Amazon that are like 100% bamboo
mhm,
don't necessarily say unbleached. And
mhm.
they might say eco-friendly, but they don't say PFAS free.
It's all very confusing.
It is. Marketing is so confusing. I mean, you can
Yeah.
kind of say whatever you want, like eco-friendly,
Uh-huh.
sustainable, which is great for the
Natural.
environment. Exactly. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't know, that it's the way to
Okay.
go.
According to the internet, so Bim Bam Boom is a brand of toilet paper slash paper towels that you can find at Target. I see it on the shelves. Um, they use chlorine-free bleach process to help soften and whiten bamboo pulp. I don't know why we need to get any of this white. Like, I don't understand. But their whitening process is to wash the pulp with water, expose it to hydrogen peroxide, oxygen, and chlorine dioxide,
Okay.
and then they heat it and activate the elements. But like, I don't,
So that is still like claiming to be a natural
yeah, but I don't know
toilet
that
paper.
let's see about
It's
this.
still exposed to chlorine and
Yeah, and
could have levels of dioxin in it. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, this is the part where it gets so confusing. Like, even if
Hmm.
you research it, it's like no one really has a
What's
clear
listed?
answer. Chlorine dioxide. Sometimes they have on the EWG Skin Deep
Hmm.
database, they have like specific chemicals. And let's see if they do. Oh, chlorine dioxide, they have as a chemical on here, and it's actually a 2, which is green and
That specific
rated
brand
good.
is?
No, just chlorine dioxide, the chemical.
Okay.
So it seems like if it's chlorine dioxide, it's a better option than whatever else. Does that make sense? Okay, well, according to the NRDC, again, they rate this based on mostly it seems like deforestation issues, which I also like.
Hmm.
Um, and so those ones they love are Aria, Green Forest, Natural Value, Trader Joe's, 365 by Whole Foods Market, 100% recycled. But that bleaching process is PCF, which is the original one we said, which PCF, which is processed chlorine free, uses oxygen, ozone, and peroxide to bleach paper without chlorine.
Okay.
So that actually sounds okay too, because hydrogen peroxide, oxygen, and ozone, I think are okay.
Toilet paper is one of those things too where it's so nice to be able to buy it in a store
Mm-hmm.
unless you're super prepared because I feel like we're always like, "Oh my gosh, we're out."
A
Or I
hundred
am.
percent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like to go
Uh-huh.
buy things. So it is nice to be able
Mm-hmm.
to have an option like Trader Joe's. We have bought that before.
Yeah, me too.
It's still white though.
I know, but I think it's this chlorine-free processing.
Okay.
Um, the one I have bought previously, I have used a lot of these. Bim Bam Boom. I use their it's 100% bamboo, which is a very renewable and regenerative resource because it grows so quickly. I use it, you can buy it at Target. I have a really mediocre Target here in Jackson Hole. Don't leave us ever. Please keep it there. I literally would have to move if we didn't have one. But I use their paper towels. And then I'm also transitioning, speaking of paper towels, to something called papaya. I'm not getting rid of paper towels. Like, that's not a thing. But there are these papaya reusables where one sheet is equivalent to 17 rolls of paper towels,
Oh, wait,
which is
that's
really
crazy.
cool.
I
So maybe
just processed that.
we'll link those too. I really
Okay.
like them. You just hang them. Love them. And they're super cute prints. Like, I have one hanging on the side of the cabinet in the bathroom so I can like clean the sink really easily.
How
And they
long do they
go
last?
forever. Like,
Okay.
literally forever. I've had some of them forever. And you don't put them in the washing machine, you put them in the dishwasher on the top rack.
Okay, cool. We love that.
We love
That'd be a
that.
really good alternative for like a scrub brush too with
Yes.
washing the
And
dishes.
oh my God, I refuse to do a scrub brush or a sponge. You know this about me,
I
right?
do.
It's disgusting, you guys.
Yeah.
Get rid of the sponge. It's gross. I don't care what they're made out of. I'm sure it's like plastic problem anyway, but it's my brother when had just moved to Slow, so it's probably 2006, which makes him 6.5 or 7, looked at my mom and was like, why do we use a sponge? And my mom was like, because that's how you clean dishes. But he's like, but it smells weird. And if you have just cleaned the dirty dishes with them, it must have germs. And
What's your
from that
answer?
moment on, we threw away all the sponges in our house and switched to washcloths. And I have
Was
never looked back. I still do it to this day. Like, I got married. We had already been living together. I had already thrown away our sponges. But when I moved in, I was like, just so you know, D, we're getting rid of sponges. He's like, what? And I was like, it's disgusting. And he's like, I don't really care. So, okay. So
You're like,
I just buy like
this
the
is a
$5.
non-negotiable.
Yeah, no, it's a non-negotiable for me. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, and then for my toilet paper, I use Reel, which is REEL, which I can also buy at Target. But Everspring, actually, which you can also get at Target, gets a better score. So maybe I'll start buying that.
I know, because Real doesn't say PFAS free.
It is.
Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I looked on their website. They also have a lot of good research on their website.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm just looking on Amazon, so they might just not list it
Mm,
all.
yeah, unbleached bamboo toilet paper. They also have plastic-free packaging, which I love.
Yeah, that's great.
You can subscribe if you want. It is BPA free, fragrance free, chlorine free, no inks or dyes, plastic free, biodegradable, FSC certified, and tree free.
Okay. Then it should be good.
hmm Yes,
Okay. Well,
should
we
be
will
PFAS
look
free.
up all the toilet papers and link them slash put them on our master spreadsheet
Yes,
list.
yes. And we are trying to get you guys discount codes for things. So that's
Yeah.
next up on our list of this
Yeah.
podcast. So let us know, like, if you want a code for something, LMK, and we'll go get it for you.
We shall.
We shall. Okay, cool. Anything else on tampons, toilet paper, paper towels,
Mm-mm.
water?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our podcast, like this, leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It means the world to us. Yeah,
Yes, it does. Thanks for joining.
we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.